Hey Astro Kids and welcome back. So today we're going to take a look into an in-depth video of me breaking down what it looks like to have a Ketu Mahadasha. So this is a short excerpt from my course on Vedic Astrology. For those of you who are interested in knowing what this period of Ketu looks like for those of you who are going through this. If you enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. You come into a 7-year period, much shorter period of Ketu Mahadasha. And this one can be very difficult. And we're going to get into why that is. But particularly because of the same reason why Rahu is difficult, because Ketu is a shadow planet. It makes you face the shadow aspects of life. So, same thing as Rahu, where you want to look at the house that the significator of Rahu is positioned in. You want to look at the house that Ketu is in, the lord of the house that Ketu is in. So when we say the significator, we always want to look at where is Scorpio at. Because remember that Ketu is at home in the sign of Scorpio. We also want to look at what sign is Ketu in. And along with that, even more than that, you want to look at what nakshatra is Ketu in and what is the 5th and 9th aspect. Now, what's different here from Rahu is that anything that is aspected 5th and 9th from Ketu is automatically going to give losses. So this is not a situation where if you're looking from the 5th and 9th aspect where you will see gains and losses. You're always going to see losses. And the reason being is because Ketu is a planet that wants to liberate us from the Maya, the illusion, which is the material world. So Ketu is going to create losses where you feel like you are detached from the material world. And so this is why this becomes a very difficult period in time. And typically the theme of this period is spiritual liberation. This is a time of detaching, again, from the physical world. And so during this time, many people have spiritual awakenings where they're waking up from the illusion, waking up from the Maya. And so during this period, this can be a very intense spiritual transformation where you are having deja vu, you're having very vivid dreams, you are having past life experiences come up. So especially if you have Ketu in a good position, you will have good karma come up from previous lifetimes where you get different knowledge and skills that you had and practice in previous lifetimes that come through during this Ketu period. So the dream life tends to become very active. You tend to see a lot of symbols during this time. A lot of knowledge from previous lifetimes tend to come through during the Ketu period. And typically during a Ketu Mahadasha period, you tend to be drawn more to spirituality. Again, the whole purpose of Ketu is to dissolve the physical world. It is waking you up from the illusion. So everything during this Ketu period tends to be less tangible. And this is why this can be a very stressful period, because you can receive a lot of losses. And this particularly can be a period of aggression, of impulsiveness, of walking away from situations because they're not going your way. Because Ketu is not going to give you any kind of physical rewards. Everything that Ketu gives is going to come from spirit. So this tends to be a very agitating time for those of you who are trying to gain something from the material world. So you can have difficulties and stress in your career life. You can have difficulties in terms of gaining wealth at this time. Ketu is not here to give you anything physical. So you can see that where you can run into a lot of obstacles and it feels almost endless where you are continuing to run into obstacles throughout this period. And particularly if Ketu is placed in a negative position and you are not following your karmic responsibility in life, then you will tend to see a lot of heartache during this period. A lot of stress, a lot of difficulties, a lot of restlessness. You may experience insomnia, confusion, disassociation. All of these things can come up during a Ketu period. And the reason why we say disassociation is, again, because Ketu takes you out of this physical world. And so during this Ketu Mahadasha period, you could have moments where you feel like you're not physically here, or like you're seeing yourself in the world around you and looking down on it. So there can be this detachment or dissociation that can happen during a Ketu Mahadasha. So this can be very difficult, particularly if you are not spiritual. This can take you through some very strange, unexpected experiences during a Ketu Mahadasha. And typically, again, Ketu is a shadow planet, so there is no sort of discipline or moral that is attached to this planet. So you might, again, just like the Rahu period, be tempted towards risky behaviors, towards unethical behaviors. All of these things can come up. You can have a lot of passion, a lot of unnecessary desires that you're chasing. This can lead to divorce and separation, especially if you are married and you are having these desires and passions and you're getting involved in unethical behaviors. This can cause you to cheat. This can cause divorces. This can cause issues in relationships to come up. And so typically during this period, it's best to keep your desires at bay. It's best to stick to your routine and your responsibilities. This is a relatively short period. So giving into your desires or giving into these excesses really is not worth it during a Ketu Mahadasha period. And there tends to be a strong desire towards wealth and achievement. Again, you're not going to get much of that during a Ketu Mahadasha period. Its sole purpose is spiritual. It wants to wake you up to the truth of your previous lifetimes, of the mystical knowledge, of the spiritual world. So nothing physical really tends to come through during a Ketu Mahadasha period. And so it's best to really keep a low profile, not to try to seek a raise or to try to have these heavy desires during a Ketu Mahadasha period, because this really is not going to benefit you. Now next, the remedial measures for the Ketu Mahadasha tends to be prayer on Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning is the time of Ketu. Also, following a routine, staying committed. Again, you're going to see lots of temptations, lots of changes, lots of things that seem to not be tangible at this Ketu Mahadasha period. So if you give into the things that are not of the tangible world, this can make you lose your grip on everything, where you can lose everything, right? Your career can fall apart, your marriage can fall apart if you are giving into temptation. So it is best to follow a routine during this time. Also, though, something that you'll notice is that when Ketu gives you these past life experiences, these visions, the knowledge, however this is coming through to you, it's going to take it away also, because it's also showing you that this is an illusion. Again, this is an illusionary planet. This is a shadow planet. And so none of these things are going to stay. They're all going to disappear. And so it's particularly recommended that you keep a dream journal during this time, that you're writing all of your experiences down, because they will go away. You will forget them, right? Ketu will take these experiences away, because Ketu is just here to show you these experiences. It's not here for you to stay in it, because ultimately you are here in this physical incarnation, but those previous lifetimes can give you knowledge and skills to help you in this life. And typically the best time to have a Ketu Mahadasha is earlier in life, because then that will give you a lot of wisdom and insight that you can carry throughout your life, or later in life, because then you will be more settled down and it will give you a better understanding into all of this spiritual connotation. Typically, in the midlife, or even in your 30s, your 40s, all of that tends to be a bad time for a Ketu Mahadasha because you're trying to enjoy your life, you are caught up in society, and this is going to take you out of society. During a Ketu Mahadasha, you are going to isolate. You're going to be more drawn to spirituality. All of these things will happen, again, to wake you up from the illusion